Hello and welcome to our special episode of see, I'm screwing it up already. Spreading the nerd, our special stream of the Summerfest after show, where we're going to talk about all the nifty things. Look, Silicon's already in here. Look at that. I'm your host Clint, all over the place as usual. Still haven't learned anything from last week, and I'm joined by co-host extraordinaire Rick Davis. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Before we get into the thick of it, how you been this week?
I've been fairly busy, but
Mm,
chatted up. You know how it goes.
yep. Been playing anything?
Uh, kind of same thing as last week, where I'm kind of just bouncing all over the place. But so last night tried to start back up Elden Ring. I keep trying.
Oh, did you?
I keep trying. Well, I didn't restart it. I picked up where I was, but
Right.
I keep trying because I'm like there's something here that I'm missing, and I gotta figure out what it is. Uh, I didn't have much time to do it. To be fair, I only played it for I don't know 45 minutes, and really
Yeah.
couldn't even figure out where the hell I was trying to go.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking
I
of
did
something.
actually. I'm sorry. I did actually. We were talking about it. I did check out some of that shooter.
Oh,
Volcano
Sulaco
or
there.
it's a lot. Yeah, yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, dude. That's pretty dope. I didn't play too much of it. I only played 20 minutes, half hour, whatever it was. But that's a genuinely solid shooter. I was pretty impressed. The sound effects are surprisingly good. Like the
Ooh,
guns
nice.
are super punchy for a game that's running on an
Awesome.
extremely modified version of Doom,
Right.
basically.
Yeah. I do like how they're running off like a Doom file,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. It's technically a mod, I guess, but it's the Doom engine put put into OpenGL. I think is
Yeah.
what it is, which is pretty interesting.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I want to get into Elden Ring because the expansion looks great, but I was like, I hit it hard when it first came out and then I dropped off of it. So I have no
Mm.
idea where I am, what I'm doing. Uh, so I feel like I have to start it over again. I'm like, I just don't have the time for that right now, as much as I want to play it.
See, I don't know if that's the type of game that requires restarting. It depends.
True.
It depends how smoothly you can get back into the mechanics, because obviously that part,
Yeah.
it's not gonna give you an easy time. Remember what you're doing. But in terms of
Right.
like the story and stuff like that, I don't know if you'd have to really bother. I mean, there's obviously a lot of lore, although
Yeah.
I'm gonna make all the From fans unhappy here, but I think Elden Ring's lore is completely retarded. but
I couldn't tell you any lore from any of their games. So
I couldn't either, but what I like looked up about like Bloodborne and Dark Souls is awesome. I just
mm,
think Elden Rings is just completely stupid. It's like they just randomly picked a an adjective and a noun and put them together, and that's what it was. Like, let's see, you're gonna worship a Pope turtle. There we go. That's what it is. And it's like, what? It's just weird for the sake of being weird, but
I like it. I like it.
mm,
I haven't been up to too much. So I've been busy this week with work, but playing some Killer Clowns, uh, the Final Fantasy 9 mod with that what's it called, Miguel or something like that, which
yeah.
is amazing. It makes a PS1 game look like honestly an indie game coming out now type of thing.
Mm. Looks fantastic on Steam Deck too.
It's
Like
so good.
the smaller screen with that resolution,
Yeah.
it generally looks amazing.
Yeah, I put it on the Ally and it looked
mm,
fantastic. Like it looked better on that than on my actual
mm-hmm.
PC. So good.
Yeah, it's clearly not meant to be run at a like real high resolution on a
No,
big
yeah.
screen. It's
I was trying to run it at ultra wide and I was like, maybe not.
Did you use the orchestral score or did you use the original one?
I used the new one.
See, I started with it, but especially the battle theme didn't quite have the right sound to it for me, so I switched back to the original one. But
Yeah.
I like the like I always wish I could kind of pick and choose certain tracks, like because I do like the whatever, like the Final Fantasy Overture or whatever it's called, like the Final Fantasy theme. I actually like the orchestral version on that, but I like the battle theme much better as the original one.
Yeah. Yeah, Silken in chat saying I'm saving myself for the remake. I want to believe. Yeah, definitely want to believe in the remake. And
this weekend, it's gonna happen. I can feel it.
it has to.
We're gonna hear about it.
imagine if, I know we need to move on to the showcase here, but imagine if Xbox came out with Final Fantasy 9 reveal. That would be wild.
Well, if it's gonna be this weekend, I don't know where else it could be.
Uh,
There is no Sony
it's-
show, so
no, because what else is there? There's the Ubisoft, there's the Xbox. I think that's
there's
if it's gonna get shown, it's or maybe Gamescom this fall, maybe.
could be, but there's also I think it's on Tuesday. There's that one that I think PC Gamer actually sets it up. It's like the Future Games show or whatever.
yeah.
Everyone forgets about it, but in reality, they actually show some pretty good stuff in that most years.
Sony dead.
Yeah, well, you'd be understandably believe that with their state of play.
Yeah. All right. Let's get moving on to the Summer Game Fest. Before we start, what's your overall score? 1 out of 10.
Oh, we're giving numbers. Darn it! I had a letter
Let's
score
go
already. I'll give it a.
We can do letters if it's better.
I'll give
We did numbers last time.
I'll give it an 8/B+. Not
Okay,
a lot there for me, but I actually thought it was a good show. I thought he had a pretty good, diverse selection of things. Again, not a lot of the big hitters, but like some genuine announcements. Like, again, not big titles, but some pretty cool stuff there. I thought. Unfortunately, obviously, a lot of it leaked, but that's just the industry we're in now.
Right. I know it that does suck because before I remember, like, I think I missed. I don't know where
it was long. I'll agree with that, Silken. It was long. And we had like a 20-minute weird commercial with Chris Hemsworth and Ken Jeong in it for some weird reason.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, I was expecting 2 hours, which it was 2 hours, but I was expecting advertisements like kind of throughout it, and it just seemed we got slammed with one really long one at the end.
That was so bizarre.
Yeah, it was.
And it was for a mobile game. It wasn't even like it was anything
right.
big. It was some dinky mobile game that probably no one's ever going to play.
Yeah, because I can't remember. It's in Discord or whatever, but I think it was like $350,000 for 1 minute. So anything past that was probably like 500 grand, and then the amount of money you're paying for those actors in it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was something like 550,000 for like a 2.5 minute trailer, which was every bit of 2.5 minutes long. So
yeah, crazy.
Like you said, I mean, Chris Hemsworth, I'm sure didn't come cheap.
No. I'm going to give it 7.5. I think.
We're still
a lot of games in there that I think are going to pique people's interest. I think there was some good games in there. However, not all of them are for me. But I think there was a good amount of games for everybody. I think there was something there for everyone to enjoy. I think.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. The problem is because of that, when you got someone who's looking at it for just their perspective, there's a lot that's not for them.
So, yeah, for sure.
But if you try to look at it as more of an over-encompassing, I like Jeff Keighley a lot. Actually, I genuinely think he tries to be a pretty good spokesperson and representative for the industry.
Yeah,
but
he had a really good intro there.
Yeah, well, especially with the game awards, I tend to be a little critical of his stuff. But I'm like, I got to give him his flowers on this one because he, his team, not just him, but they clearly worked pretty diligently to kind of assemble a wide range of titles for a different group of people and stuff like that. So I respect that.
Right. So let's start. So we got a list of games here, and right out of the gate, surprised the hell out of me with Lego Horizon Adventures announced. Apparently I was blind to this because apparently it says after many rumors, the truth was revealed. Lego Horizon is real and coming to PS5, PC, and Switch later this year. Features the mainline series original lead actor, Ashley Birch, and because it's Lego, a hot dog man.
Yeah, when you said you were surprised, I actually thought you were joking because that has leaked for months now.
I must be under a rock or something. Usually I'm on top of that stuff, but
yeah, everyone really thought it was going to be in the state of play when it wasn't. It's like, what's going on? And then earlier this week, I forget who it was, but someone said like, it's like there's a trailer done for this and it's ready to go. So it's clearly got to be at the what's this called, Summer Game Fest. But it looked like a decent game. I don't think I'm going to bother with it. But that said, as I told you, I want a Lego Thunderjaw set. I want that. I have the tall
Right?
neck. You can actually see it.
The tall neck is so
Wrong
cool. I
side. Wrong
keep
side.
threatening to buy it.
That hand. Oh my god, I can't do this. Right there.
There it is.
Right there.
I keep threatening to buy it because it is really nice looking.
It's so good. Actually, it was in terms of Lego at least, it was actually a fairly reasonably priced set.
Yeah.
Too. I want to say.
I
It's
mean,
like
maybe with
$80.
this game, maybe it will be. Who knows?
Now, where would I put a Thunderjaw? I have no idea, but I want one because it looked cool. What surprised me? So, what surprised me is this wasn't quite what had leaked, though. It was, but it wasn't. Like what had leaked, sort of, was it sounded as though it was going to be a remake of the original game, which this does not appear to be that. Like
Okay.
this is called like Horizon Adventures or something like that.
Yeah, Horizon Adventures.
And some of the characters that Aloy meets throughout both games, but
yeah.
are clearly in this. But it did not look to me like she was doing any of the missions or anything
No.
like that from the original game.
It'd be kind of cool if it was its own thing.
Sure, absolutely. But that also now that does leave open the possibility of the rumored actual remake of the original game, which is weird. That game's only like 6 years old, but
yeah.
But when this leaked about the Lego thing, I was like, okay, clearly this remake is this,
right?
And everyone heard this wrong. But based on what we saw there, I'm no longer convinced that's the case. So maybe this remake is still in existence. But what had been said was that it was a like realistic looking world with Lego characters and Lego machines and stuff like that in it, but that's not the case here because the world here actually looks like a Lego set.
Yeah,
like not just the robots, not just Aloy, not just whoever else. But again, it looks fun. I'll wait and see how it is, and I mean I love Horizon, so my guess is I'll probably end up diving into it. But
yeah, I'll probably grab it like on a sale or something. What did surprise, well, I guess surprised me was that it is that the franchise is going to come over to the PlayStation there, or not PlayStation, Switch.
Yeah, that was a surprise because you have to think Sony's publishing this,
right?
And so you almost got to wonder, did they talk to Nintendo about getting something? I mean, they didn't get Mario or Zelda. I'm not fooling myself there, but did they say like, hey, we want to get something like this over there? What's one of your smaller things? But knowing Nintendo, they would not go for that. It's just kind of spitballing here, but
yeah,
it is interesting. That said, you notice they did not say Xbox, so they clearly were not willing to go that route.
No. The only thing that I can think of, and I think we tossed it back and forth, was like maybe, I don't know, somehow in some contract under Lego, it says like all their games has to release on, let's face it, the kid-friendly Switch. And maybe that's why. I don't know. But interesting enough. Like I said, I'll probably wait for a sale and grab it. I'm sure it'll be good. The Lego games tend to be good. Just
I really like that. I was not a big fan of the Lego games for a long time, but I actually really like that last one, the Skywalker Saga, wherever they
that was like great.
That was actually really good. So
that was good.
It actually in and of itself makes me a little worse than this, although it doesn't use that same kind of camera because that used like a third person camera.
Yeah, that's true.
This is back to more the isometric top down like the old ones had, which is odd.
Yep. And then we had No More Room in Hell 2, sequel to an under the radar Left 4 Dead like game on PC. No More Room in Hell 2 is like Valve's classic game with 8-player co-op. Oh, 8 players and difficulty tuned way up. Good luck. I think I've heard of the first one, but like just like random people talking about it years ago. I was very impressed with this, and I'm definitely intrigued. The gameplay, but not only that, but like the graphics of like it didn't show many stills or anything like that, but you could see like real quickly bullet holes going through, and you could see like holes and you could see through it type of thing. But I thought it was just 4 players, so that's cool. It's 8-player co-op.
Well, at the end of the trailer, they showed 8 people standing on a cliff's edge.
Oh, and it seemed like it was just one giant map.
That's what they said. Yeah, they said it was one giant map they said
that should be cool.
Infinitely replayable. So that tells me it must like randomize spawn points or something.
Right. Like randomized missions and stuff. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun for people who want to do the co-op thing. Maybe bring over some people from Call of Duty Zombies or something as well. but I think it's got legs. I'd be
Yeah,
I'd be
it looked good to
interested.
me. What you just said surprised me because I didn't catch that the original was a Valve game. I had no idea about that. I never heard of the original.
It's like Valve's classic Left 4 Dead, and it was a
Oh,
mod. I
oh,
think it
okay,
was a
okay,
mod on the first one
gotcha.
or the first Left 4 Dead. Like, also quickly, Valve, fucking come out with some more games. You
Yeah.
know, Left 4 Dead
And not
3,
goddamn
Half-Life,
Dota.
right? God damn it. Anyway, that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
They say as Dota brings them infinite amounts of money,
Yeah. Well,
but we want Half
it's not
Life.
for me, so I don't want it.
We want Half Life. God damn it.
Yep. God. And then we had Harry Potter Quidditch Champions.
And the internet cried. It was funny.
Yep. People are gonna, don't play it because you're bad if you do.
Mm-hmm.
I think a Quidditch game could be cool. I know it's not, but it almost felt like mobile style to me with the graphics and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It had way too much of that Fortnite trashy look to it. And I'm not just
Yeah.
bad mouthing Fortnite, although I will take any chance I can to badmouth Fortnite. But let's all just admit that the art style of Fortnite is an abomination upon this planet. But yeah, it kind of had that real like cartoony and like exaggerated character design.
Yeah.
Which is weird because that doesn't fit like Harry Potter at all. I don't think.
Yeah,
so,
not to that extent. It looks too plasticky. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I think you can work with some type of graphical design with it, but that one was just, I don't know. I didn't feel it. I hope it's good because I love Harry Potter. I'd be glad to see another good Harry Potter game. How long will it last? Or is it, how quick of a game is it? Like, oh, cool, you won the championship. You can play a couple not skirmishes, but a couple rounds here and there. But is there really going to be? I don't know. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Like to see some more. It says check out our story here for release date because that was out this fall, right?
What was?
The Harry Potter Quidditch.
September
30th looks like. Yeah, and
well,
it's going to be $30, and it will be a PlayStation Plus release for subscribers as well.
The big thing about it will be how like advanced are the mechanics to it, because if you put the effort into it to make it, don't make it something that someone could just pick up and be fine at it in 15 minutes. Make it that it takes time to learn how to like fly the broom properly, play the different positions properly. You could make an absolute banging ass game.
You definitely could.
You really
and
could.
Then,
but you can't make it simplistic like that old EA one that was on like GameCube and stuff.
Yeah.
Like make it that it's actually like, okay, there is a learning curve to this. You have to, maybe you can start easy and make it that everything's on like a flat plane, but then in time you have to learn to deal with the extra, axis and stuff like that. And you could make an awesome competitive sports game with Quidditch.
You could, and you could, not, I don't want another live service game, but you could make like some type of pass for it. Like as you beat games, you could unlock different, cosmetics for brooms, characters from the movies, whatever.
You can make a progression where you start at just like a Hogwarts level, just the 4 schools. Then you start to get to, they've only named, I believe, 2 or 3 of the different teams that are in like the professional Quidditch league. But then maybe you get to like the World Cup and stuff like that. You could really do a lot with this.
Yeah.
But you cannot half-ass it. You really have to actually put a level of skill required to get good at it. And you could really make, I think, a pretty solid game out of this. But I don't in any way expect that to be what they're going to do. I think they'll probably go for the, little Susie can pick it up and just be fine at it within 10 minutes.
Right.
She can play it on her phone. Which there is a market for that. It's just that shouldn't
easy
be
mode
the
or
only
whatever
thing for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll just be very simplistic, I'm guessing.
Silicon also said in chat, also advertising a franchise associated with J.K. Rowling during Pride Month. Good luck. Yeah. God, I don't even want to get into it, but it sucks. The controversy, it fucking sucks.
The non-controversy.
Yeah. And then controversy,
but
yeah. And then we had Cuff Bust, which was made by a single person. Cuff Bust is a cartoonish co-op prison break game coming soon. It's like Shawshank Redemption meets Nickelodeon. Yeah, I guess that's
And
a
they were
good
like
way.
koalas almost, or something weird like that.
Yeah, with like their ears bitten and stuff. It I thought the trailer was funny. I laughed out loud at the trailer a few times, but I don't think it's I don't think it'll be anything for me. Doesn't do anything for me.
But to its credit, that looks like the kind of game that like kids will eat up.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I
Kids
think
and streamers and stuff like
yeah, I was
and,
gonna say
like
streamers and
streamers
content
for kids and
creators.
stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yep, content creators who are like playing like Among Us stuff like that
Mhm.
will definitely. I think it'll be a big hit for that stuff.
But like
Like
that's
when
the kind of game that I could see like Ninja getting like a bajillion views for, you know,
right,
since he streams a lot towards kids. Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing that kids would love to watch, I'm sure.
yeah. But yeah, it was the trailer was wild, like throwing dynamite on a toilet and then blowing up. That was kind of cool. And then were they like smoking doobies at the end of the end?
It was
of
like cigars, I think. Not doobies,
oh, was it? I was like, are they like rolling it?
It was weird. It was weird.
But also for one guy, great job.
Mm.
Better than I can do, that's for sure.
Looks
interesting.
What was it that he made in the past? I actually forget what they said. They did say what it was, and I forget what it was.
Yeah, there was another person that did a solo job too.
Yeah, there was a couple of those.
Yeah, but yeah,
no, so I did not. I actually missed that. If that's the case, but he's saying it is definitely not.
Oh, there was red eyes. Okay.
So maybe it's not such for kids.
I didn't focus on the eyes because I just
saw
the rolls and I was like, "What? This seems like kind of like a kid game." And then all of a sudden, two of the characters are smoking weed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I stand corrected. I did not notice that part. I didn't look at it that closely.
Chopper
in my defense.
Yeah, like I said, I laughed at the trailer, but we'll see when it comes out. Then we got a quick look at Star Wars Outlaws, which honestly I'm surprised it was even there. Because with Ubisoft having their show on Monday, I figured they'd save everything for that. But honestly, probably kind of smart to show a quick little trailer, get people going for it.
That game looks banging. I cannot wait for that game. That game looks
I know
awesome.
there's Ubisoft hate and whatever, but I think
they're
this
wrong.
Fantastic.
That's all I'm going to say is they're wrong.
Yeah, every other company's doing the same damn thing. It's just I don't know, whatever. But I think it looks awesome, and it's made by Massive Entertainment, and they've made great games for Ubisoft for me. I love
Avatar.
I love it so much I can't even say it.
Avatar.
I really enjoyed Avatar, and also
The Division.
Thank you.
Jesus. Okay, so that's the two games they've made that I know of.
I need coffee. I need something. Definitely excited for them, and I know Avatar. Oh, they made. Did they
didn't make Valhalla? I don't think. I thought that was Montreal.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting if they did that.
Yeah.
Valhalla.
I
liked Valhalla, but that game was too big for me.
Yeah,
it
really was.
Super stoked for it. It looks really good. I'm excited for the Ubisoft show, mainly for this and Shadows. Now I'm gonna look it up because now we're gonna. All right.
Keep going. I'll look it up real quick.
Oh, okay. I thought it looked pretty cool, like the show in the open world. The set pieces looked great. Characters look cool. I'm definitely all in. I do.
Yeah, it was Montreal. It was Montreal that made it. I thought so.
All right. One thing I do wish is I wish we were getting a physical, like collector's edition. And I think Captain Logan
Outlaws or
yes.
I thought they were, or was it just a deluxe edition they announced?
Just they have a collector's edition, and that's kind of what people are pissed off about is that you don't get anything physical.
Oh, okay. Like their ultimate edition, whatever they call that.
Yeah, their ultimate edition isn't anything like, and I think Captain Logan said it in Discord, like how awesome it would have been if you had that little pet she has.
Nyx, I think is his name. Does that sound right? Nyx?
Like, yeah.
There's him, and then the robot has a name, but I don't remember what his name is.
No, I'm not sure.
I think Nyx is the name of the little cat thing. But yeah, he looks cool. No problem, Silken, and I got you.
But I'm definitely interested. I think it looks great, and I can't wait to see because Avatar. Even if you didn't like the game or whatever, that game is one of the best looking games I have ever seen. So I'm excited to see with them bringing that engine over to this for sure.
Massive are one of the few teams out there actually like utilizing the power of this generation instead of just
Right.
That's why all the stuff they're making is not available on PS4 and Xbox One because
Yep.
everybody else's are. But
Yep.
their stuff is like looks like this. Now, that said, I would prepare ourselves because I don't expect this game to have a very good performance mode. I would expect it's going to be probably best in quality and running at 30.
Yeah, I think you're going to be right there.
We'll see, but because Avatar's performance mode, I tried it. It's kind of inconsistent. It's almost better playing it in quality because of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I played that one.
It doesn't hold 60
PC.
anywhere near close.
Yeah, so I think I'll definitely get this one on PC as well, though. Just for my elitism of graphics, I think.
I get it. I don't know where I'm going to go with on this one. Shadows I'll definitely get on PlayStation. That's where I've played the whole Assassin's Creed series.
Yeah, see, it's
so this
weird.
one I might go Xbox just because of that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like Star Wars Outlaws, I'm like, I want to see the best of it. Blah blah blah. But like Assassin's Creed Shadows, console. Like Assassin's Creed's a game. Even if I can play it with a controller on my PC, I just want to play it on my TV in my recliner. It's weird. Well, I'm weird with like that with some games.
Dude, I'm the same way. But I would say maybe part of that. Assassin's Creed, in most cases, if you have to put it on quality, it probably doesn't matter because there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole like Twitch-based aiming or stuff like that. Whereas this, there will be because this is a third-person shooter, so it'll matter in this game for sure.
Silkenet says he is not touching Star Wars on console. Ew.
Dirty.
And then next one is a sad game, or start to a sad game. Or this one didn't. Yeah, this one started off sad, right? Neva. This 2D adventure game comes from the team from the, or was it the trailer before?
It was the previous trailer of this game. Yes. Okay. This one. No. This one was sad because the mother died or something like that. Yeah. So you're right.
Yeah. This 2D adventure game comes from the team from the tear-jerking Gris, which I never played. I loved the artwork in that one too, though. And it looks similarly boost. It looks like it'll similar. I can't. It looks like it. Yeah. Okay. It'll look like it'll boost tissue sales among its players. Which, yep.
And actually, I'm sorry, I was wrong. This one did not have a sad trailer. I was thinking of the other game later in the show. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because that one died with like Bambi at the first straight off. I'm like, what the hell? Let's stop with this one. Games.
This one, the original trailer, which I want to say was maybe at the Game Awards, started with a sad trailer. This one, however, was not.
I got Silkenet and
I never
1 hour
Gris
one
either,
decision
actually.
In chat saying here to check out Gris. Super short, but it's looks solid. So yeah, I might have to jump into that, especially if it's short. Like I'm all about short games right now, honestly. Like I love a good long game, but like as busy as I have been, I'm like I just want something I can finish in like 10 hours or maybe less and feel like I accomplished something in life. So
this did look pretty good. Like the art style is gorgeous. The design of that like wolf thingy looks like the way that it glows looks really, really cool. Like it almost gives like an aura with wherever it's moving around, you know, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. And usually with games like this, I love the style, but they don't usually catch me because the gameplay usually isn't for me. But the combat looked pretty solid in this one, so I'm actually looking pretty forward to this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it for sure.
Yep. And then what else we got? Yeah, Chris is still gonna say Gris is about 3 hours. Return to Grace is good too. Okay, a bunch of games to add to the backlog. Thank you, gentlemen. Next up was it got leaked sadly before it by 2K themselves by updating their website. But the Civilization 7 trailer. Civilization 7. It was just a cool like CG trailer going through time type of deal with multiple different countries and stuff like that. The Civilization, no gameplay or anything. I think they said
He-
later this
Yeah,
summer,
he
right?
said at Gamescom they will show the first
Gamescom.
gameplay.
Okay, dude, Gamescom. I think it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, Gamescom's gonna be big this year because there's no E3, so they'll be able
Yep.
to really load that up. I think.
Yeah. Civilization isn't for me. I know we talked about this during the day, and I've tried multiple Civilization games, and also what is it, the Alpha Centauri games or something like the space.
That was his
space
original
place.
game, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not for me, but I know that they are absolutely massive in the PC space.
That game, it's not for me either, but that game will probably sell more than every other game in this entire show combined.
Yeah, honestly,
except for maybe Outlaws, because Outlaws will sell well.
Yeah,
that game's that's huge. That's a big announcement for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games where, like I said, it's not for me, but I also am not blind to the impact it has, type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is a master of his craft. It's a very specific craft, but he is a complete master of it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Chris in chat saying Blizzard always had fantastic CGI trailers. Yeah, they do. So good. So good.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the top people in groups in the world at making like pre-rendered stuff.
It's Silking it. It's Civ. It will be the same gameplay. I agree with you. And I think I messaged you during it. I was like, they're also the same time release for console. I'm wondering if it'll be, for lack of better words, dumbed down.
Well, they did release Civ 6 on console, so they probably know what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Like 6 did not launch day and date with the PC version, I don't believe.
But I think they said this one was going to.
This one will be, yes. But what I'm saying is, like, they've actually figured out how to do it.
Right.
So like, they've already got the figuring out a controller part down, so I think it'll be just fine.
I'm sure it'll have,
and if they dumb it down, people are going to
hate
it because Civ's thing is how complicated it can get. So.
Right. But yeah, I believe it'll be same gameplay with updated graphics. Cool for a lot of people. Not for me. You know, I'm saying a lot of like not for me, maybe, and I'm like, I gave this a 7, like what, 7.5. But man, there are some games on here I am freaking stoked for.
Oh yeah.
And including this one that's next. Metaphor Refantasio? Is that what it is?
I don't know. Either way,
Metaphor
looks absolutely freaking awesome. Let's go.
Persona fans take note. This game comes from the team that made the last several Persona games and has similar art direction and gameplay. It's likely going to be your next big thing, and it's coming out this October. Dude, when he was just talking about it and then announced the people coming out, I was like trying to listen to them, but I was so focused in the back, and they were showing like all the architect types or jobs, and I was like, there's so many, and it looks so good, dude.
Oh, it looks amazing.
It's
definitely towards the top of my anticipated list this year.
Yeah, yep. I'm very glad that I locked in the collector's edition on that one.
Yep, same.
And I think
physical, baby, let's go.
Yes, and I think it's sometime this. Is it August that they're doing a show? Atlas, I think they're doing a show just for this. I think.
Did he say that, or did he maybe say a Tokyo Game Show? He did say they're going to have a show later that was going to. Did they say they were going to deep dive a bit more on the 40 maybe not all of them, but on what the archetypes do and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
Or they would have a trailer. I'm sorry, it wouldn't be a show, but they would have a trailer to show a lot more about that.
I thought there was something, but.
And also,
anyways,
what I was going to say is what I like, because I didn't get this from the original trailer. What is 2 months ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this to you. I like that it looks like it keeps the really mature and violent Persona thing.
Yes.
Because they didn't show that originally, but here they showed them get like stabbed in the face and stuff like that, and all like blood spraying out. It's like, yes, this is what we want.
I am so for it.
Because I like RPGs are very mature, very violent, very gory.
And I like the Persona games. Don't get me wrong, they're fantastic. And the Shin Megami, which we got the next one coming out next week, 7 days.
Yep.
But I am glad this one is kind of. I mean, it looks kind of like Persona, but I'm glad it's not. I'm glad for something new-ish. But like
very
every one of
their Persona.
Yeah, and it looks almost open world ish a little bit from a couple of the shots in
I
there.
think they said it is actually.
Nice.
It's like a fantasy setting this time as opposed to a real world setting within the wherever the castles and stuff like that would be. And I don't know anything about the first two Personas, and I don't know a whole lot about
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei proper, but this is a very different setting for them. They even said that themselves.
Yeah. And just that trailer, like everything looks cool, but man, their RPGs just bleed style. It's just
they have perfected
gorgeous.
That. They have
it is
perfected
just
that.
gorgeous. Yeah, they started it with what, Persona 5.
Well, they started with 4, but they really found their stride in 5, and then continued on.
And now Reload. It looks even more like the quick snippet of the user interface of like the inventory or whatever, and it just had like the 3 faces, and I was like, I'm all in.
Just and the way that their menus and stuff like that all transition is nobody else does it like that, and it's like
no.
This, if you told me on paper about this, I would say that's cool, but it doesn't matter. When you play it, that makes all the difference in the world because
it really
feels
does.
So fluid that way. And it's just like you don't mind looking at a menu because it looks cool going into it. It looks cool coming back out of it.
Yeah, just like switching from attack, defense, or you feel awesome just going through a menu.
Actually, I liked how Reload, Persona 3 Reload, switched to the triangle for this, square for this, X for that, and circle, as opposed to just picking from a menu, because that was what Persona 5 did, and I actually like that.
But I like that too.
It's a small thing, but it actually felt better in practice, I thought.
Yeah. So Silken says in here, the question is, should I try to slot Persona 5 before Metaphor? So am I understanding that you haven't played Persona 5?
Yeah, that's unacceptable, Silken.
Because I know Silkenit's a big RPG fan.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I'm reading this
Persona
right.
Persona 5 pound for pound might be the best JRPG ever made, actually. It's not my favorite, but it might be the best.
Right, yeah. I haven't played any Persona.
Well, okay, in that case...
Wow.
Persona 5, I think, is easily the best. Some people will say 4. I think 5 is better.
I think
that
5...
Said, I don't think you want to start with 5. Number one, it is by far the longest. Persona 5 is insanely long. Also, play Royal.
Chris, strap in Silken. Yeah, you ain't not kidding. Yeah, like where do you start, or do you start with? Because I believe Silken has Game
start
Pass.
With Reload.
Start with Persona 3.
I would actually start with Reload.
Yeah,
play that if you like that. Then play 4. Just know that 4 is going to look a little more like handheld, but 4 actually still looks pretty nice. It still has decent stuff. And then eventually get yourself to 5 Royal, not regular, Royal.
Yeah, definitely Royal.
Yeah, it's night and day difference between that and the original release. Just again, I'm not joking. That game is so long. I think it took me 210 hours to beat that, which is high. That is high compared to most people. I did platinum it too, but like everything I hear, people like minimum people are usually around 130, 140.
Yeah,
to do the main story.
It's a long game.
It never ends, but it's so good.
And Silken says, I'll get no lesson from someone who hasn't played Gris. You know what? Gris is only 3 hours, so I'm gonna freaking play it just so I can come back to you and you will listen to me.
And make no mistake, in the weekend that we beat Gris, you won't even beat through the first stuff.
Yeah, you won't get the first chapter. Yeah. And that is one of the things with Persona, and I know Silken plays JRPG, so I'm not sure he knows that it takes a while to pick up. Persona games do tend to take a while to get going, but when they do, fire, just all cylinders, ready to go.
When they get moving, you don't want to stop. Like it's and again, what I like, I mentioned this about Metaphor, is they're not your typical like Final Fantasy just whimsical adventure. Like Persona 5 is dark.
Oh yeah.
Without going into too many spoilers. Persona 5, your first main dude that's an issue, it deals with like him sexually abusing students and beating students and stuff like that. And like it's now, to be fair, that one is a lot darker than most of the other ones throughout that game.
Yeah,
like
but they're all
weird to start with him, but it really does get to like pretty mature.
Yeah, and they're all like based in like high school type of thing, but they are very. It is a very adult themed RPG, and God, we should do an episode 2 on Personas because I'll go on forever.
I love Persona.
So good. Definitely get into it. Yep. If you can, definitely get into it. Probably like Rick said, start with Persona 3. I mean, you could start with Persona 5, but make sure it's Royale. But
Just
I mean,
strap in. It does have an extremely long, like, to start. You said 3 hours here in the school. I don't remember it being that long, unless by that you mean the school's palace. At which point that does take some
yeah,
time to get to.
yeah.
But it honestly, Persona 5 probably has a solid 5 hour like introductory sequence.
Yeah.
It is long, but once it gets moving, it actually moves pretty good. It just takes a while to get there.
Yeah, and if you do end up liking Persona 5, there's 2 offshoot games that are 1 hour, one decision in
Yeah,
chess.
Chris just mentioned
Tactics. Yeah, Tactics was I played it. It's good if you like tactics RPG. It's good. And then they have like the Musu style game,
yeah.
which was I like Musu games, so it was solid for me.
And it was actually the Strikers is the name of that one. It actually
Yeah.
was a canonical sequel, although by
Yep.
per P team or whatever they're called, it was a canonical sequel.
Yeah.
But what's bizarre is they went based off the original Persona release,
Right.
for it, so it doesn't have. Actually, I almost said the wrong name. It almost goes off of, or it doesn't have Kasumi in it or anything like that, which is a bummer because it would have been nice to have,
Yeah.
the real version of Persona 5 be the one that was carried on, but it is what it is.
Yep. Moving on before we go down that railway hole.
Yeah.
So before I bring this game up, pretty much everybody in this chat, how me and Rick met, we met over at the XCP Discord, and who was Luke is the host over there, and he loves Batman games, loves the Arkham games, loves all those games. So when Batman Arkham was announced, or the VR Arkham Shadow was announced, what was it, like a month ago? People were, kind of excited, but Luke took it to heart. He was sad. So this one,
I could almost hear him shrieking from all the way up there.
I know so they announced Batman, not announced, they showed off Batman Arkham Shadow VR exclusive of Batman. It looks like they showed off the Rat King,
which is cool. Actually, that's cool that they used him as a villain.
Yeah,
not a commonly used villain. I like that idea.
Yeah, and I no gameplay. I think it was all like story. I think from what I saw, but yeah, the whole time, all I could think of, I know Luke is in the audience there with his hands just like fists or crying or.
And meanwhile, Ains was sitting next to him, probably laughing at him for breaking down.
I haven't seen gameplay of it, so I don't know. It's on the Quest, so I might try it out if it looks good.
I didn't notice. Did they say, is it Rocksteady making that? I don't know if they said who made it.
I don't think so.
Okay, they said it's definitely part of the Arkhamverse, so it's part of that, but I don't know if it's them that made it. I'll look it up.
See.
I just didn't know if they said.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, launch exclusively for the MetaQuest 3. Oh, I thought it was on the PSVR as well, but I guess not. Yeah, so cool.
It is not that. It is Camouflage who made Iron Man VR.
Okay, I've heard Iron Man was good. I never played it.
No, that got pretty good marks.
Yeah. This one next, out of left field, Tears of Metal, the Scottish Dynasty Warriors game. Out of left field, and the soundtrack was banging on that one.
Popping, man.
Right? I was like, okay, let's get the bagpipes going.
Yeah, it was like Scottish metal. It was awesome.
It was fantastic. This historical fiction co-op hack and slash roguelike game offers a distinct art style. It looked kind of like was it water painting or watercolors type of thing?
Yeah, it had a less dark what's the name of that? Like impossible, intentionally like turn-based RPG. Darkest something.
Darkest Dungeon or whatever.
Darkest Dungeon. Yeah, it looked like that without being like super red and super dark. It actually had like that kind of art style to it.
Yeah, and Silkenite said in chat, Braveheart the game, and yeah, it looked like you were leading huge armies as well as you controlling the one person and just hacking and slashing. We've got like a quick overview of what looked like a map, so like maybe some missions or something in there. It does say it's roguelite. I definitely interested in this one for sure,
Hmm. Yeah,
especially with the soundtrack. Like if that soundtrack is like that throughout the entire game, I'm here for it.
yeah, yeah. I'm not even a big Dynasty Warriors fan, but I was like, this actually interests me because the setting is cool, the music is great,
Yeah.
and it actually looked like it did have a little bit of like army building aspect to it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they kind of showed some menu thing that I was like, okay, that actually puts a pretty neat spin on it.
Yeah. I think it'll be good. Definitely interested in that one. That'll be on the watch list.
Hmm.
And then the next one, which I was hoping it was going to show up. So excited. Delta Force Hawk Ops. Um, so yeah, I think I told you in like messages or whatever. Delta Force was like the first online shooter game I played back in 98, 99, something like that. Loved the hell out of that game. So apparently it is going to have a extraction shooter part of it, which is cool.
Makes
But
sense for a
then
game like that, actually. So
yeah. But then they followed it up with a surprise reveal of the forthcoming single player campaign, which actually recreates moments from the Ridley Scott movie Black Hawk Down, which is fantastic movie and some fantastic scenes. So the
yeah,
campaign,
and I want to say that that is news, right? Like I knew we knew it had a campaign, but I don't think they ever said it had anything to do with
yeah,
Black Hawk Down, right?
that is
Okay.
news. So getting like being able to like shot for shot, like really, some of those shots were like
Mhm.
I've watched the
Especially
movie way too many
when they were
times.
flying in, it looked exactly like the movie.
Yeah, it's so I was excited because they didn't show it here, but they had like a multiplayer. I think it's called Havoc mode that looks like a Battlefield mode with tanks, choppers,
Mhm.
all that stuff. So that looked fantastic. But now it looks like they're going to have a decent campaign with it too. So
And
definitely
beautiful.
excited for
I
this
mentioned to
one.
you beautiful gun models, and
Yeah.
that's something that matters to me because way too
Hmm.
often we get really crappy gun models. Like there is
Hmm.
some genuine attention to detail in those models.
Yep. I can't. I'm not sure who makes this one. But I think the originals
Actually,
are like
I
Novalogic. But
yeah, it's not them because this is some. I think
no,
I think
Novalogic
they're a
closed down, I
Chinese
think.
team. Actually, they're either
Oh,
Chinese or
really?
Korean. Yeah,
Ah,
because I remember when they
interesting.
revealed it, they showed the. It might be Korean. They showed the director, and I'm
Uh,
pretty sure it all had to be translated because he didn't speak English or anything like that.
Interesting. But yeah, that looks fantastic. I'm
Hmm.
all in for it. I think they said something about a beta or an alpha sometime.
Uh, Next month I think is what it said.
Definitely excited for this.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm looking.
Chris in chat.
I'm keeping an eye on it.
Clint, where's the Bones coffee? You know what? I should have made a cup of Bones coffee. I'm a shill for Bones coffee. So maybe I should tag them. Maybe I can get some free coffee in this or something.
Get
But
ourselves a sponsor.
yeah, be sponsored by Bones Coffee. Sure. Yeah, I've got some fancy Star Wars tiramisu coffee. All I've got is I got my Godzilla cup of
Oh, there you go.
water mixed with something that makes it
I
pink
don't know if
and
Chris
taste
is still
good.
there or not, but if so, there you go. Godzilla
Yeah.
cup.
So Delta Force, excited. Then we got Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. The Fatal Fury series is back with new fighters showing off several, such as the one pictured here, B, and the picture is a very chesty picture of B. Jeanette, who is destined to be a fan favorite one way or another. Okay, calm down, GameSpot.
Maybe two of them. Maybe two fan favorites.
Jesus. Um, I don't keep up with the fighting franchises that much. But I don't think we've had a Fatal Fury in a long time.
I
I
couldn't
could
tell
be
you.
wrong.
That's not my area. I don't know.
But yeah, out of all genres of games, fighters are the least I pay attention to. I like watching the fatalities in the Mortal Kombats, but that's that's about the extent you get from me.
I respect the hell out of people in that genre,
Oh
but
yeah,
man, I can't do it. Like I even tried the Blaze Blue versus Rising,
yeah. I remember you
and
saying that. Yeah.
that is a good fighting game. Like you could tell to
Mm,
play it; it feels good. But
yeah.
man, it took literally 30 seconds for me to go. I am not good at these at all.
Yeah, I actually have a friend that's going to Evo this year, and I'm like, good on you, dude.
Yeah,
But
those
I
dudes are
can't.
insane.
Yeah, not for me.
Well, one of the one of like the Facebook groups that I'm in, someone posed a question of like, what is more impressive, professional fighting games or professional Call of Duty? I'm like, it's not even close. It's fighting games by a country
Oh
mile.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
not me giving shit to Call of Duty. It's just
No, it's just
it's not even close. Who is
yeah,
more impressive?
yeah. And I
Because
do like
they are
watching
just
those
so
championships.
insanely good.
Yeah. Watching the championships is kind of fun. Or like I won't watch them live or anything, but I'll see like snippets of them, like just people's reaction and then comebacks and stuff. Definitely cool. But
Mm-hmm.
then out of nowhere, the Bloomhouse Games sizzle reel. Bloomhouse Games, one of the biggest names in modern horror movies, is getting into the video games with several titles already shown off in a fast-moving sizzle reel from the stage. Some of these games looked pretty cool, especially the first one. They don't have any names here, which sucks.
I don't think they
But
gave names except for like one of them. That's why.
yeah, but the first one looked like a first-person horror shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like pretty cool graphics. And then there was one.
And then it was a farm simulator.
Yeah, so
immediately
I was
after
like,
that.
of course, at that time we didn't know it was a bunch all
Mhm,
together. So I was like, what happened? And like,
mhm,
and then there was one that looked like a PS1 graphics type of thing.
mhm,
Um, it could be interesting. I'm definitely interested in the first one.
mhm.
So I guess
Yeah,
we'll see
it
some
was a
more.
weird announcement, and it was tough to tell if they were announcing like some kind of collection or something like that. But
Yeah,
it
it was
seems to
just
me like they might have just been announcing a new like production team or something like that. That was
yeah.
or not production. I'm
They
sorry, publishing team.
Yeah. They did say that there was coming to PC, consoles, all the games. Um cool, I guess. Like I said, the first one looked cool. I would like to see more of the one that looks like a PS1 just for nostalgia
Mhm.
stuff, but cool. And then we had Mighty Morphin's Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Power Rangers are back with this retro styled beat 'em up that oddly sometimes goes into first person. I will be the first one to admit I have never I have never watched this full episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, even as a kid. But this intrigued me. It looked a lot like what was that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game back on the SNES, Super Nintendo?
I don't know which
Turtles
one.
in Time.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of reminded me of those side scroller beat 'em ups, but I did like how it had like that first person mech like fighting
Mhm.
in it too. That looks cool. And I know you were excited because they were put on that
Where they showed the bikes, so it had like a Battletoads aspect to it
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
Um
I mean, when I was a kid, we're about the same age, but when I was, I don't know, 6 or 7 is when they first brought the original Power Rangers over, and I mean, I watched it all the time. That said, about a year after watching it, you realize how ridiculous it was, so I fell off. And
yep.
I find out 20 years later that it's like still going strong with the various different variations, and I'm like, that's weird. But
Yeah.
this brought back some memories of being like a 6 year old, and
Yeah, because you think you were
it looked
saying that
pretty cool actually.
like it had the original
The
song or
original
something on there
soundtrack,
too.
yeah,
That's
the
pretty
original
cool.
theme song.
That's cool. It definitely looked cool, especially if you're looking for a beat 'em up. I think it looked
Mhm,
pretty cool.
mhm. Yeah, that looks solid. The
Yep.
really solid sprite work in it too.
Yeah, for sure. Um, keep an eye on it. Be interested to
Mhm,
see the first person aspect of it too.
mhm.
And then we had the sad game, Deer and Boy. This likely tearjerker focuses on the relationship between, you guessed it, a deer and a boy. So yeah, this started off with like Bambi, with the mother dying and the baby deer like wondering what it's gonna do, and then this kid finding it, and then it just kind of shows them traveling, and then it kind of at the end of the deer has like the antlers that glow and stuff too. So
Mhm,
I'm sure there's more magical stuff going on.
mhm.
Another sad game. I don't want a sad game. Once again, it kind of like reminded me of the art style of one of the first ones they showed there, Neva.
Mhm.
Um, so it looks cool, but I don't think it'll be for me. I don't think this looks like an Ellery game.
Mhm.
I think they'd
I
like that one
might,
a lot.
I might give it a shot because it kind of through most of it until the part at the end when the antlers were like glowing.
Yeah.
I had said it actually kind of reminded me of a slightly less polished,
Yeah.
like inside, like it
Yeah.
kind of had that look to it, and I'm like that actually could be interesting. Now, I'm not the biggest Inside fan, but
Mm,
I like that Limbo better myself. But
Limbo's
I'm like
great.
this does look interesting, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see if it's something that I'd be
Yeah.
interested in.
Yeah, like I said, not for me, but I think it'll reach a lot of people for sure. I want story driven and such.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the sad game,
Jesus Christ be praised.
I don't even know where to start.
Th-
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 gameplay trailer.
Let's
My
go.
God. I
Let's go.
like
Henry with the glow up on this one too.
right? The previously announced sequel got a big trailer showing off a mix of gameplay and story moments. The medieval RPG is coming out this year. Oh my God, thank you.
Mm. The only game that I can possibly see dethroning Rebirth as my game of the year. And there's a
okay.
possibility that it could, because Kingdom Come is so good. And
It's
this looks like it could be better.
yeah, I was even before they showed like the trailer and there was people talking and stuff. And the gameplay and list looked fantastic. But what really stuck out to me was like the writing in it. I thought the writing was perfect. It was so good.
I believe it just might be.
Silken says, was it the first game on a show in the show with a sex scene? And I'm pretty sure it was, and it was like in your face, literally.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah. It was in first person. That's for sure.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, because I think I was writing to you right at the same time, like right before the sex scene came on. I'm like, man, the writing is so on point with this, and then all of a sudden it's just like a wench bent over a table.
Was it a wench or was it Teresa? I didn't see it well enough.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it because I was just so excited.
Did finish the main story, but I think he does end up getting with Teresa.
I think so. Yeah. Or one of the playthroughs there.
And obviously, because of the time period, it's kind of frowned upon to be sleeping around. So,
right.
So it makes sense if it was her, but yeah.
But everything about this, the writing,
man,
the graphics look great.
Sir Hans Capon continuing to be a complete nut job, but that's why you love him, because he's insane. But they become like bros, so like it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like they become sidekicks almost.
Yep.
And this game looks.
Yeah, the gameplay looks even more polished than, I mean, granted that they had the first one to work on. This one looks way more polished, and I enjoyed the first game's combat. So this one looks. Yeah, I am just so excited, dude. I'm so excited.
Just a small history lesson, because I discovered something relatively recently, as in with the last like month or two. I don't remember what his name is, but the guy that's the head of Warhorse Studios.
Yep.
Did you know that he was actually like the lead developer on the original Mafia and Mafia 2? And after Mafia 2, he left and started Warhorse. So like,
no shit.
I had no idea. You can see like why it's story and some of that's so good, because he has always been like his thing has always been a focus on period pieces, and like a real attempt at being authentic to them, and a real focus on the story, as opposed to just like nonsensical open world activities. Like he really puts a focus on the main story, and it shows. Like it's why, I mean, obviously, like Mafia 2, for example, is known for having an incredible story, but the open world is just terrible. There's nothing to do in it. Kingdom Come's not quite like that. There's actually a lot to do in Kingdom Come, but like, it's why, despite the kind of game that it is, it clearly has a big focus on its story, and they put a lot of effort into like, the voice cast and voice acting and stuff like that. And it's why GOAT, first person open world RPG, GOAT right there.
I'm so excited for this one. I think I think it's gonna be a big one. I think it's going to reach more people than the first one did too. I don't know. It just feels like this one, not just because I'm hyped for it, but I see more people talking about this one. So,
well, the first one did well. So, in case you didn't know, I think you did, 'cause I think we talked about it. The first one started as a Kickstarter, actually.
Yes.
And then it ended up getting picked up by, I don't remember who published it, but and then they obviously ended up getting purchased in time by Embracer, and then they're like their own division or whatever. but it actually, I had never heard of it until like a month before it came out, and I'm like, wow, this looks really cool. So I started really following it, and I was like, this is a game that nobody on Earth is going to even know exists, right?
Yep.
But I started seeing like talking about it. I'm like, maybe it does have a bit more. I'm sure more on the PC side than on the Xbox side, but
yeah, for sure.
When it came out, and I mean, it was a little rough on the console. We know that, but I was like, there is a gem hidden under this.
Yep.
Once they get all these glitches with that figured out, by the time that they had finished like all the DLCs and stuff like that, I actually think it did build itself a pretty respectable fan base, because again, it's something genuinely unique. Like there's nothing else like that.
The whole you literally start off as as a nobody, or basically, and you have to learn swords and a bow, horse riding, everything starts from zero, and the more you
do it to get good at it.
Right.
And it's not just on the skill side, like you yourself have to actually learn how to do it, which is cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm. It's also a game that you can play several different ways. You can be a pacifist. There's actually an achievement to go through the entire game without killing anybody, which is crazy.
And then here's another really cool little snippet. Now, I never had this happen, but so in one of the final updates for it, they added the ability to play like a hardcore mode, where like you add like, I don't know, 3 like negative attributes to your character. Right? One of them is, I think it's called insomnia. Apparently, did you know this, that sometimes, or it's not, I don't know if it's called insomnia, but the point is like you sleepwalk.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes, apparently, when you go to sleep, which is like a main way of saving in this game, right? Since you can't just save randomly, save anytime you want. Sometimes you will wake up and be in a whole different area because your character sleepwalked there. I was like, that is brilliant. How has nobody ever thought of doing that before?
So good.
And like, it can put you on the other side of the map and stuff like that. And you know, that map is intentionally vague, because the point is you're not supposed to be able to look at what you're doing.
Right.
So you've got to like figure out, if you're at the middle of a woods or something like that, you've got to figure out where you are and like get your bearings to find out how to get back. And it's like, that is awesome. That is such a cool idea.
Definitely excited.
Yes.
Can't wait.
The official I think it's got a fall release. This podcast is Kingdom Come Deliverance is a great game and everybody should play it. That is the official stance of this podcast.
Fact. And then we had, after that, Slitterhead. Slitterhead got its first gameplay trailer today, and the results may surprise you. It's not a survival horror game, but check it out for yourself and see if it still intrigues you. I don't know who wrote this over at GameSpot.
Yeah, that's not well written. Wow.
But there's also like grammatical errors and stuff. But like they didn't even say in here, Slitterhead is actually the brainchild of the Silent Hill.
Original Silent Hill, yeah.
Thank you. The original Silent Hill guy. So this is like his game, and he left off and created his own little indie group. It looks a little rough, but it does look cool at the same time. How you kind of like you said, like using biological weapons, but they're actually like part of you, like you're turning parts of your body into weapons. When there was a couple cool parts. There was one part where like your hand got chopped off and it gets like thrown across the screen, and then you can see the blood start to like connect to the other hand, or to the hand that gets chopped off, and it gets sucked back in. I was like, that's wicked cool. And then a guy like turned his like intestines into a machine gun.
Is that what they actually? I wasn't sure what they were.
I think it is. I don't know.
It's really gory, that's for sure.
Yeah, character designs were cool, or enemy designs. It just seemed a little rough around the edges. But I think it's out this year, November. We'll definitely keep my eyes on it. But yeah, it should have been said in here that, you know, it is the brainchild of the Silent Hill creator, which does stand for something, especially for me. So I'll give it a look.
Yeah, the original reveal of it, I don't know, 2 years ago, whatever it was not good. I was not impressed at all.
Yeah, I had completely forgotten about
this. Looked much better than it actually looked like a completely different game compared to what they showed then.
Yeah,
like they didn't show off the like possession mechanic and stuff like that at all, which obviously they did here.
Oh yeah, that was a cool thing. I forgot all about that. Like you said, did that guy just commit suicide, or did you just let him commit suicide from jumping off a building?
Jumped him off of a building and then like switched to somebody else and let him plummet to his death.
And then at the end, of course, you possessed a dog, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I can go around.
So long
pee
as you
on
don't kill
people.
it, you can't kill the
Yeah,
dog.
go around pee on people.
Mhm.
And then we had, I can't pronounce this right. Karen.
Karen. Yeah.
This rock climbing game resembles 2023's Jusant quite a bit, but it has its own story intentions to share. French studio
I'll
or
say
Canadian,
very French. Do you
very
know them
very
Silk in it?
French with outrageous accents. She was the
They
lady
had,
was
they had
super
baguettes
tall.
in their hand too.
Lady was super tall,
Yes.
kind of like the girl from like Resident Evil Village there.
Lady Demetrius.
Yeah. Silicon, it says French game devs rule. Some of them do. They do. Yeah. Great baguettes.
Ubisoft Montreal.
Yep.
French.
Anyways, it looks kind of interesting. If they can get the controls to work, because you mentioned it as well, as like if they did a really good job. So basically, you're playing somebody that looks like you need to climb cliffs for whatever reason, climb the sides of mountains. So you can see like the arms going up, the legs going out, and the graphics of it look really good that way. It'll just be, how does it control? Because it looks like both hands and both legs are controlled independently. It looked like so.
Yeah. And there are games that do that, but the whole idea of them is it's impossible to do anything.
Right, and to piss you off type of thing.
Right. Whereas here it's like, well, clearly it needs to be pretty precise.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is trying to plant your feet a certain place, trying to grab a certain ledge with this hand, and then pull yourself out, So it needs to be precise, whatever they're doing.
Yeah. And they did show some like open world aspect of you traveling around and stuff. Not really sure what the story is going to be type of thing, but lots of screaming.
She yells a lot. Yes, she yells a lot.
Yeah. Screaming Simulator 2024.
Must be a French
thing. But yeah, be interesting to see how it looks, how it goes. Then the next game I instantly thought of our fan Ellery, Wanderstop. This game comes from the creators of Stanley Parable, though you'd not know it initially anyway. From looking at it, it seems to be hiding a darker secret. It did kind of like at the end, kind of like that Nikki game there or whatever, where it just gets dark all of a sudden. It looks like a farm sim gameplay mechanics shown off. I mean, whoever wrote this needs to.
But my guess is they were probably typing it as the stream,
probably, yeah.
They were probably trying to type it quickly.
Yeah, so yeah, it does look like a farm sim, but also like you have like a tea shop or something. It looked like in it.
Something like that, yeah.
Silken, it says, I'm hyped for anything the Stanley devs do. I haven't played it myself, but I have heard nothing but good about that game. But I haven't played it myself. So Silkenet will once again say, I'm never listening to you again, probably. But yeah, looks interesting. Probably not for me, but once again, I'm sure it'll hit some people.
No, like you said, that looks like something right up Ellery's alley for sure. That looks like the kind of game that they're really into. So
yeah. And then we had Unknown 9, or I don't think it's Unknown 9. I think it's Unknown Awakening, published by Bandai Namco. Maybe it is Unknown 9. Looks to be a grand adventure in a Middle Eastern fantasy setting. This game looked cool.
This game looked cool.
It did, yeah. And this one came out of nowhere. Because that was like the 3D, third person like fighter type of thing.
Yeah,
the character
I think was awesome. Like teleporting and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh no, this was the one that was in the fold where that goes into the fold.
Yes. Yep. That one. Yep.
That one looks cool. So yeah, that one definitely looks awesome. Keep my eyes on that one for sure.
Yeah, this one looked really good. This was one of the more impressive games in the show, I thought.
Yep, and completely out of the blue. Next one, which I initially thought was Greedfall 2.
That's what I thought too.
But apparently IGN, not to sidetrack, IGN is doing a show at the same time, and they were announcing games over there as well, and Greedfall 2 is over there, and I'm like, oh, okay. So now there's a bunch of games over there that I have to go look at. Like, I think they had a deeper look of the new Alien VR game, so I definitely got to have a look at that. But and then of
Why
course
would they
Creed
do it at
2.
the same time?
I
Weird.
don't know. It's IGN.
Yeah, that's true.
So this one, Enotria, the last song, it was only CG, but the CG was awesome.
Mm.
I think you said you were looking into it. Is it Souls-like? You said,
Yeah, because the big thing was that it had a demo available now. So I was like,
Yes.
well, let's see what the heck this is. I jumped on Steam and it said it is a Souls-like. I didn't read much about it. I just said it was a Souls-like.
Mhm.
I'll tell you exactly what it says if you give me 1 second here.
Yeah, the demo was on Steam though.
Oh,
Not
yes.
the console.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
Because it looked interesting.
The last song. Okay, so the description on Steam says, Enotria, the last song, is a Souls-like set in a beautiful sunlit world inspired by Italian folklore where the brightest sun casts the darkest shadow, where unique role-altering masks, which must be why he looked like Kefka Palazzo, face formidable foes, and alter reality with the power of Ardor to unravel the secrets of Entoria. And I'm sorry, Enotria, whatever the hell it's called. They actually have a trailer that like how Steam has like the trailers, the loop. It has one that shows a little bit more than what they seem to show here.
Nice.
Plus some of it looks like it's actually maybe real real locations from Italy that they probably were using for designing the worlds and stuff like that.
I'm on the Steam page now, and it says like you said, the story synopsis and stuff. Supposedly there's 3 regions, 40 plus hours with more than 100 different enemies, 30 different masks, and I guess each mask is a role.
Oh, so that makes sense. That's probably your classes and stuff.
Yep. And there are 68 skills. So like they've got like a skill tree here with like a bunch of that's and unlockable perks, passives. And of course, with a stupid number of 150 plus million different build combinations, which whatever.
That's just mathematics. There.
Just numbers. Like, ooh, look at this. Yeah. But it did look cool. I thought the art style was neat. I will probably download the demo after we're done here and probably give it a try because it does look pretty cool. There is some gameplay on there, whereas I think at the trailer shown they didn't have any gameplay.
I didn't notice. I know the game is also available on console. Did they say if the demo was available on console too?
I'm pretty sure it is. They also announced like a collector's edition, deluxe edition, and this is out September 18th. Another fall game. It's getting stacked. By Giyama Games. This is their first game, so
I assume they're probably in the Italian studio, but I don't know for sure.
Hopefully it goes well. But yeah, it looks good. I'll definitely get the demo, try it out. Silkenet says the demo is okay. Did you already try the demo, Silkenet? My God.
I think the French must live in like a time folding world or something like that, where they can just. That's how we beat Rebirth in like a weekend and a half.
Oh, and Troy, I had to move there. Silkenet says in chat, and Troy, I can't pronounce it. Enotria. Enotria had to move their release date because 2 days before DLC, Elden Ring DLC announcement, their date. So they were gonna have the same date.
Yeah,
understandable.
You can't blame them for that because if you're a Souls, you have no chance on that day. So you might as well get out of there.
There was another game that was talked about a couple weeks ago. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't anything like super crazy, but same release date as Elden Ring. And of course, I've already forgotten about it because it's Elden Ring.
Well, whatever the next 14 expansion is, they dated it 1 week. Remember, he was like, "I'll give you 1 week."
Yoshi P came out on stage and he's like, "I love Elden Ring. My developers love Elden Ring. We were going to have it out the same week, and we're like, no, we want to play Elden Ring." So he's like giving himself and his entire team a week to play Elden Ring, which I'm like, good on you.
You gotta give that dude credit, man. He knows how to play up to his audience. He's a funny
cool
guy. Yeah, he's a funny
great
guy.
Yeah, he's got a great stage presence.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, he does.
Awesome guy.
He's figured out how to like interact with his fan base and stuff like that.
For sure. The next one we got is The First Descendant. Previously announced looter shooter. Might fill the Destiny-sized hole in your heart once you finish the final shape. It has a release date of July 2nd. Yeah, super quick. I thought the trailer looked pretty cool. I would like a
and I believe that was all. I believe that was all in-engine gameplay.
I'm pretty sure
it wasn't gameplay, but I think it was in-engine thing because when you look at like screenshots, it looks just like what they showed in that trailer.
Yeah, it looks. It could be fun. I want to see some more gameplay with the classes or whatever, but it looks like it could be fun. Coming out July 2nd, I guess we'll know pretty damn quick.
The Steam page, it says kind of interested me a little bit more because it said you can play some of it by yourself. I'm like, but they also always say that, and it doesn't always actually work out that way. So we'll see. It is free, so that.
Oh, is it?
My book, yeah. Unfortunately, that probably
it is
a load
free.
of microtransactions too.
God damn it!
Yeah,
my
expectations kind of ruins it. But
it is.
But
it
at least
means
I will try it.
I'll give it a try. It is a Nexon game. Sometimes those games are good. It looked fun. We'll see. Yeah, July 2nd comes out in 3 weeks. Charming and unique characters.
It puts particular emphasis on its graphical fidelity. In the like write-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll try it out. We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of looter shooters, I thought for sure, because I thought it was pretty much leaked, that Borderlands was going to be today.
That might be big enough you put it in Microsoft show.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I could see that.
Crazy. Anywho, moving on. Outer Sloth was next. The creators of Among Us starting a publishing label to help lift up other indie studios. And then they also showed off, I think I had to step away at that point, but I know I came back and they had the trailer for like the Netflix adaptation of Among Us. Did they show up any other games at all, or?
They did, but it was kind of like a sizzle reel, so it was kind of tough to see too much of them.
So basically just them coming out saying like, hey, we're doing stuff. That's cool.
They gave extremely like light details on a couple of them, but yeah, like Silken says, he says, I'm so happy for Outer Sloth just being possible. It's true. I don't know what all you caught, but they basically said that Among Us's insane success basically allowed them to kind of give back a little bit and kind of start. I assume they're a publishing label. I think is that right? Like they're basically a publisher for small indie titles. So
right.
They're using it to help fund and
that's cool.
Bump up like other certainly small team games.
Yeah,
that is kind of their idea.
No, I've played Among Us a few times. Nothing crazy. It's not for me. But I remember it came out before COVID started, and it was just kind of like there, and then COVID happened, and it friggin' blew up like crazy. So it's cool to see that they're able
streamers made that game a success.
Yeah, yep. They're also funding, so it looks like they're going above publishing as well. That's cool. Awesome. Silken says that they're funding. That's cool. The next game they showed was pure CGI. I'm excited because I'm a Dune person, but Dune Awakening, even though it is a survival crafting MMO based on the resurgent Dune franchise, is coming soon. A new trailer explained that this is a Paul-less story at the center of it all. So basically, like the movies didn't happen or the books didn't happen, or character-wise, but you're in that world. There has been some gameplay of this, and I think it's going into beta this summer. I have another friend that's a huge Dune fan, so we're both pretty excited for this. It is survival, but it's based kind of like Conan, so there's a story there with PvE and stuff. So I think it'll be fun with big bosses and stuff. I think it'll be fun. I'm excited for it, and you don't have much to say about it because you haven't seen Dune.
Yeah, I know absolutely nothing about Dune except
all right.
Everybody loved Dune 2.
Dune 2 is a masterpiece. Anyways, this next game they don't even have the title for, but it's for that anime style that we're like, man, this trailer's got wicked style, and then it came out as that RTS game, and that one developer came out and was talking about it. Battle Aces or something like that.
That's right. That is
it?
That.
Oh damn!
That's very close, if not right.
It's something like that.
Yeah,
and going back real quick, Silkenet says I'm a Conan and Exiles fan, so it looks to be perfect for me. I'm right there with you, Silkenet. I think it's gonna be good, especially as Conan fans or that game fan. So yeah, this was like a quick RTS game. I don't know if he's the only developer on it or whatnot, but he's trying to make a easily accessible. I can never accessible RTS game. Looked cool. Looked like he wanted to not be able to push like 500 different buttons, but still sending out a lot of armies and stuff. So, it looks cool. And you mentioned it during while he was on the show that he was like one of the few devs that is straight to the point. This is what it is. No beating around the bush. So I definitely respect that.
He actually did a solid job of actually explaining what his, instead of
Yeah.
just saying it's an RTS for everyone, he explained what an RTS for everyone meant.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't just a bunch of like marketing nonsense. He actually did a pretty good job of explaining what differentiated his game from your standard RTSs and stuff like that. It's not for me at all, but I respected the fact that he was doing a good job explaining what they were doing.
Yeah. It says here that matches are purposely take under 10 minutes. So I guess it's going to be a good game to like quick jump in, play.
It seemed like it didn't focus much on like resource gathering and more.
No,
like,
it's yeah,
like build your units and get them out there to get moving.
Could be interesting. Silken says, before I forget, please watch the accessibility showcase from this afternoon. I think I heard or saw Ellery talk about that too.
Discord, yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably check it out at some point for sure. I've heard, good things. Of course, any type of accessibility is fantastic for gaming. There are many times when I've done stupid stuff like go snowboarding and fall and like think I'm dying or something. I'm like, the first thing that comes to my head is, oh God, what if I can't play games anymore? So it's just like, so it's cool to see stuff like that making more mainstream for sure. Then they showed off a trailer for the finals season 3, adding very Japanese style scene with like katanas, reflecting bullets and stuff. I haven't played the finals. I think I might give it a try. It is free. I've heard good things.
Mhm.
It's done by some of the original Battlefield devs, which I mean I love Battlefield, so that interested me. So, but I just busy with other stuff, so I never got into it. But this season, the characters looked cool. Reflecting bullets with your sword looked cool.
Mhm.
So,
and you might wear a straw hat.
Yep. Might be interested on that one. And then of course, this one was
it would have been a surprise had Sam Lake himself not more or less ruined it.
Right, yeah. With Sam Lake, when he announced Sam Lake, I'm like, here we go. It's Alan Wake stuff. But Sam Lake, as we mentioned, talking to each other, like
he's a treasure from heaven.
He is amazing, and I just anything he does, like he's put on TikToks of like him literally sitting there drinking coffee, and I'm like, I'm all about this. I'll watch you drink coffee all day. Yeah, so he announced the Alan Wake 2's first of 2 DLC chapters coming tomorrow out of the blue.
Yeah, that I don't think they leaked. That was actually a surprise.
Yeah, so that'll be out tomorrow, and it actually looked kind of cool. It almost looked like it introduces characters from past, like Control's in there. What's her name from Control?
Jesse.
And then from
it had the cop from Alan Wake 2. What was it?
And
Breaker. I forget what his first name was.
Yeah, and
it had
Quantum Break.
It had Rose, the waitress from Alan Wake 2 as
well. So it looked like to me really quickly that it was almost like not necessarily story, probably some story mixed in there, but it almost looked like a horde type of thing, like you were fighting off stuff. I don't know.
I'm going to guess if you played Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Actually, I'm sorry, they both did. It wasn't just American Nightmare, but after you finished it, they had it's almost like a Mercenaries, like Resident Evil Mercenaries style mode. It looked like it was kind of like that.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's what that's what it looks like, and it's cool to see all the other characters in it. So, might jump into it. I don't know. Maybe if that's all it is, I might wait for a sale or something. But
I bought the pass. So
so you got it.
I already own it. Yeah, might as well download it.
Yep. But I mean, Sam did say I should get it, so I kind of have to listen to him.
I
Right?
mean, Sam doesn't lie.
And then the way he was dancing, and then the song from Alan Wake 2, it's just so good. So good.
Still, one of gaming's all-time greatest moments was at the Game Awards when they all came out and performed it,
Right?
and you could just
Right?
see pure joy on that.
Yeah,
man's
they were
face.
just so happy. They
He
also
he was having the time of his life
yeah.
dancing like Alex Casey. He was
Yep.
having the time of his life, and it's like
Oh,
that
good.
makes this version the best one to watch.
Right. And it's not written down here, but thankfully I remembered it. But they also announced a physical edition.
Yes,
Being able to pre-order tomorrow. They didn't show any shots or cost or anything. I think he said a deluxe version and a
Yep.
collector's edition.
Yep, that is correct.
I'm very interested to see what those bring. I would love to have a physical copy, probably not a collector's edition if it's super expensive, unless it's
Yes.
something awesome. But
Probably the same. I'd probably go with deluxe. The unfortunate part is it's a little. I'll probably end up giving somebody my season pass code since I already bought it. But like, it sounds like no matter which version you get, it's going to have that.
right.
He didn't say it had like there was like a. I don't. Well, maybe he just didn't mean to say it, but he didn't indicate there would being like a standard, then a deluxe, and then a collector. So
Yeah.
Based on what he said, from my interpretation, it sounds like all versions are the complete version, basically.
Yeah.
So,
But it's cool that they're
see if somebody doesn't have it once, and I'll give them the code.
Yeah. Cool that it's getting a physical edition because I know a lot of people wanted it.
Props to them for listening to people.
Yeah,
it took a while, but in their defense, that's not something you can usually turn around and have done in 5 minutes. That probably took some time to do.
Yeah,
they listened to the people wanting a physical, and credit to them for actually coming through on that.
Yeah. And just before I go on, a hometown hero in the Discord put a picture up there. How would you grade today's Summer Game Fest live show? And D or below, 39%. That's the highest one. I
thought it was
better. I mean, whatever. Everybody's, entitled to the opinion. That's great. But I thought this was a really good show for everybody. There wasn't anything like super like crazy or whatever, but I thought it reached everybody. But whatever. Yeah, Captain Logan says, wow, I went in with low expectations and thought the show was great. Yep.
I mean, yeah, everyone can have their opinion. I don't agree. I thought it was a pretty good show. But I also had zero expectations, so that could have something to do with it.
Yeah. I think I was expecting games, but I wasn't. I don't think I was hyping myself up for like crazy. That being said, I think it also for tomorrow.
I think it. You mean Sunday?
Isn't the Xbox showcase tomorrow?
No, it's Sunday.
Oh, it's Sunday.
Yeah. I think a lot of people unfortunately try to compare it to like a Sony, not a showcase, but like when they did a press conference or a Microsoft one, and it's like, this isn't going to be that. This is never going to be that. Yeah. You got to take this for what it is and be like, they actually did manage to get, they got a couple decent titles in there, but you're never going to have announcements of The Last of Us Part 3, right?
Yeah.
So you got to set expectations realistically. And I mean, you still may not like what was shown, and that's fair, but you can't possibly expect like a first party level production. It's not going to be that.
Yeah. I thought it was good, but
I thought he did a pretty good job.
I do. Silkenet in chat's a little bit above average now. Could have been higher with a big finale. I wanted a bigger finale too, but
I'll agree with that, Silkenet. I actually thought maybe they would. We were talking about.
I thought for sure there was going to be something. But
we thought maybe they would officially announce the rumored Resident Evil Code Veronica remake or something like that. And that would have been a hell of a way to close the show. So it's kind of a bummer he didn't do that, but that still may happen this weekend.
Never know.
That's something I could see popping up at like a Microsoft show, even though those typically seem to be announced at Sony shows, but when there isn't one, you can't announce it there. So.
Yeah. Next up, they showed Skate. It's just called Skate.
That was a weird announcement trailer, but
yeah, I love the Tony Hawk ones. I was never a fan of the Skate games necessarily, but I know it has a huge following. But this trailer did it. it looked like a
Rough.
PS3 game in some spots, and I know they said, "Oh, we're still working on it." I'm like, you have been working on this game for years.
It was shockingly low detail on things. I was like,
Yeah, and
wow.
I don't know if that's just what their style or whatever, but even taking that aside, the style or whatever, I don't think this is what Skate fans are looking for. It didn't look like I don't know, it didn't look like past skate games.
Yeah, like I mean, I won't speak for fans of Skate by any means, but
Right.
my assumption is what they wanted was what Session was, except not
Right.
bad. Which
Mm,
apparently
yeah.
Session was pretty bad.
Yeah. But yeah, in this one they showed like a character in the background like climbing up doing parkour. Um
It looked like they were
uh,
going for almost like a shared world thing, and it's like if
yeah.
that's the case, I don't think that's what anyone wanted.
Yeah.
They didn't want it to be like a live service skate park. They just wanted a realistic
Yeah.
skate sim.
Yeah. They did say that on console it will be play tested this fall, so you probably can try it out then. Hopefully it gets cleaned up a bit, but I don't think this is what the EA skate fans were looking for. I don't think anyways. I could be totally wrong, but
No, I think you're right, but again, I won't speak for them. I'm not part of that community, so I don't know.
yeah. Then Pal World was up next with a major expansion coming to Pal World featuring a new region, new pals, and lots more. This was like a huge update. They also, it's not written here, but I know that Xbox specific servers were going up too, so that'll help a lot with the lag and such that I know that the console is facing over there. But it looked like a whole what was it called? They didn't even write what it's called down here.
Saka Juma or
Sakura
something like that.
something. It was very
Yeah.
Japanesey.
Yeah.
But a bunch of there's a new raid on like it was like a giant oil rig out in the ocean that you went and fought on. A new arena I know was mentioned. Some new weapons, new
They showed
pals,
that
of course.
blue guy who I'll always think of Silking It because
I know. Every time I see anything Pal World, that very depressed blue guy, and all I can think of is Silken It.
Silking It has permanently ruined that character and Tales of Arise's Owl King because those were his profile pictures for so long. It's all I'll think of.
Yeah, that's all I can. Yeah, I'll never be able to play Pal World without without thinking of Silken It. So yeah, for Pal World people, I think that's going to be awesome. It looks like there's a lot of work going into that, so that's cool to see them.
Yeah, it looked like a big update.
And then they showed off some Valorant. Riot's ultra sweaty frame. Yeah, that's
Go
for
to hell,
sure.
Riot.
It's coming to consoles for the first time ever, which is news to me because I don't pay attention to Valorant at all. So I honestly thought it was on consoles already. Stylish new trailer as well. Tries to highlight the game's core tactical gameplay. A beta will be coming on June 14th. Not for me. I know there is a lot of people that play Valorant. I'm not a Riot fan.
I don't like them at all.
The game, yeah, and the game, like it says right here, ultra sweaty. It is too sweaty. The community, from what I have seen, is toxic as hell, and I just
very much. Yeah.
I have no interest. Cool for people that like Valorant, I'm guessing, especially for people on console can try it now, which I guess is good. You know,
yeah, it's sure. never bad that a lot of people that couldn't play something before can play it now. But
Riot will love that extra money coming in.
Oh yeah. Well, they made sure to brag about getting their China dollars when the CEO or whatever she was on screen. So
yeah,
good for you, I guess. Don't have Winnie the Pooh as a decorative item in that because you won't get those China dollars anymore.
Ellery in the Discord, we're talking about the games that we mentioned. They were like, "Oh, these games would be perfect for Ellery," and they literally mentioned those same games. And then we got the announcement that New World is coming to consoles. New World is Amazon's fantasy massive multiplayer game, and it's I've played a fair amount on PC, and I think it will work well on console. They did just come out with an expansion, I think last year, so it probably added some to it. But the big problem was with it last year or when it came out, is like at Endgame, like there's nothing to do. There was just nothing to do. Classes are kind of cool. It's pretty simple. The world is neat. So I think it'll be a good fitting for console. Get some new players in there, so I think it'll be good. I think it said Xbox and PlayStation on that one. So
it did. Yeah, it did. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's coming out. That'll be good. And then Monster Hunter Wilds came out, showed off a new trailer, more mount combat. This looks really good. I'm pretty excited.
Bird lizard mounts are awesome.
And then with the whole combat on it and stuff, I'm definitely in for this one. And once again, he was talking about how at Gamescom it's going to be showed off even more. So Gamescom,
I think they said they're going to have like a real big like showing of how mechanics work and stuff like that.
Yep. And this was towards the end of the show, and I was like, there's 7 minutes left. I'm like, there's no way they're ending on Monster Hunter Wilds. And both Rick and I were speculating. It's like, is this where they show off Code Veronica or Resident Evil 1 remake? Just out of the blue, like, surprise. It didn't happen. But Monster Hunter Wild looks good. Also, it was before this, but Capcom did a quick trailer of games, and we're just basically saying, hey, these games are on sale. And
because they said some of it was like up to 75% off.
Yeah, and I wrote in chat before, Rick commented. I wrote to him and I says, "Oh, Capcom spent $350,000 to tell you games are on sale. What a great move!" And
a second later, I was actually typing out. I go,
which was like,
I might buy Monster Hunter Rise
is on sale. I might buy that. I'm like, well, shit, it worked. So that was pretty good. That was funny.
For $10, that's a fair buy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna grab. What are you
actually,
gonna grab?
I might do the one for $20 that has.
Yeah, so I might grab Rise with you and putz around with that. So the big, not reveal at the end, but it was announced before, was Phantom Blade Zero, final game of the show. Got a trailer, showed off lots of gameplay.
Gameplay reveal though. We did not see gameplay before.
No.
Crazy cinematic
trailer. This one, within 10 seconds, I was all in. Give it to me. Right in the veins. Soundtrack was slapping. It was kind of like it
was a real like ancient like Chinese like
mixed with techno almost or something. But God, the soundtrack was fantastic. But character designs, the world, it
looks like it'll be hard. I'll say that.
It is another Souls-like. It kind of looked like the way the world was blended and the art design. It kind of reminded me of like a Bloodborne mixed with Sekiro type of thing, which I'm all for. Definitely,
I'm all in on it for sure.
Yep, definitely excited. I'm glad it ended with this one. It was on a high note for me. Probably
in their whole list, they didn't mention Black whatever the hell that game's called, Black Myth Wukong, and there was a trailer for that.
There was, but it was that was a it was like a reveal date, wasn't it? Coming out in August on that one?
No, that was not a reveal. We knew that already. I think they announced the date, I believe, at Game
but
it was it was a CG trailer. It wasn't gameplay.
It was a trailer. Yeah, it was just CG, and I was like, because I would love to see some gameplay because I've been following it for Christ. It was announced on IGN when it came out like 3-4 years ago.
It was one of the original like this
Unreal 5 and yeah. So I think what game they have shown gameplay, so it was weird we didn't see any. I was hoping to see more, but yeah, that's not on the list at all here.
Almost there. 2 months, 2.5 months.
Yeah, this fall is packed, dude. God.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it has like the real big ones like it did last year, but it's got a lot of like instead of like your S tier releases.
Right.
It's got a lot of like high B, low A,
Yeah, because and also it's like this year it seems like everybody's got something. Like I know at the beginning of the year we had a few people in the XEP Discord talking about like, oh man, it's super dry because it's a lot of people that like first person shooters. Meanwhile, RPG fans were like eating
We're drowning.
well.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a good year for everybody. But yeah, just from it's gonna be a busy fall just from what was shown today. It'll be interesting to see what's shown on Sunday, not Saturday, and see what gets put into there. Because I know Indiana Jones is coming this winter or late fall, early winter.
They claim
Avowed.
Avowed, but I don't believe Avowed is. I don't believe it for 1 minute.
I thought for sure. I thought like Avowed would, but now that they're saying Avowed is moving to Unreal 5 engine, and
I hadn't heard that actually. I didn't know.
Yes, who's
Obsidian.
No, someone's helping them. The guys who did Gears, the
the Collective.
Yeah, the Collective.
The Collective. The Coalition.
Coalition is helping them with the transition to Unreal 5. So I'm sure we'll see
that
some
doesn't
more of
happen
that tomorrow.
overnight. So
no, so I'm wondering if that will get pushed, which is fine by me
because push that
so
for a solid year if that's the case, because that's a lengthy process to do that.
Yeah, but as soon as they announced that, though, the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, oh, so they've been working on Unreal 5 on something. So if they're willing to help another company out, like, oh, they obviously have been working on something. So I think we'll see some from them on Sunday for sure. Yeah, so that was the showcase. I thought it was good. I thought it was something for everybody.
I went in with no expectations, and not even like being like a pessimistic guy. It's just these typically are, they might be long, but they're smaller shows without big things. But I was like, I thought he had a pretty wide-ranging selection of things at this. I'm surprised at the people that seem to be vastly disappointed in it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Granted, this is the gaming industry. Everybody's miserable at everything all the time. So
yeah. A got a 9%, B 24%, C 28%, D or below 39%.
That is also Twitter, though, so keep that in mind.
Yeah,
you almost got to take 50% of those miserable folks out of the equation.
Yeah, I did make like, as you know, I did make because I had Spreading the Nerd only on Threads, but I realized if I want to get bigger, or just to release or talk to at some point, maybe talking to devs or reaching out for anything or whatever, like I got to make an X account.
Yeah.
But I was making it, and then it's like, oh, what do you like? And I'm like, games, this, that, and then I get on there, and what I like is not shown on there. It's just a cesspool of like political shit, and look at my OnlyFans, and I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't.
Every post.
God damn it. So active over there probably won't be as active as I am on Threads.
Yeah. I get it.
But yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for this special of the show. I don't think I'm going to call it episode 4 when I put it up. I think it's just going to be Summer Game Fest special.
Emergency episode.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't know it was on Sunday for the Xbox showcase. I don't know if depending on what we have free time. I don't think, because I know you're busy on Sundays. Maybe sometime, because usually I think we're going to try and schedule like maybe Fridays or something.
Yeah,
basically for whatever works for us. But maybe we can do another breakdown like we've been doing in the past. Seems like people have been liking it. People in chat like it, and then I've reached out. People in Threads and stuff seem to like it, breaking it down. So maybe at some point before next Friday we can put something together.
Yep.
But
let me know.
But yeah, I think that's it, sir. Where can everybody find you?
Butch4969 on Twitter, Facebook. I keep doing that, not Facebook. Butch4969 on Twitter, on Steam, on PSN, Xbox, and in the good old Discord of XCP.
Beautiful. I know we shout out XCP all the time because XCP is awesome. Great community over there. Awesome podcast. Like I said, everybody in this chat that's been talking, thank you very much for joining us. It means a lot just to have some people in here to bounce stuff back off of.
Yeah,
met all of them in the XCP. Met Rick in XCP. Great people.
Yeah, I almost consider us an unofficial, like, distant
offshoot
of XCP.
Yeah. More, it's like
Hopefully, Luke doesn't sue us for that.
right. Yeah, it's like the After Dark version of SCP. But yeah, great place. Go over there. Listen to Luke. Listen to his co-host Captain Logan over there. Great people.
Mhm.
And also listen to us. That's cool too.
Yeah, please do.
But anyways, thank you very much, everybody, and play the games you love and have fun.
Yes.
Have a good night, everybody.
See you, everyone.